Alright, what's up, you beautiful people? My name is Nick Rhodes, and today I'm going to be going over the track that got me signed to my very first record label as a 20-year-old producer. It's called On the Dash. Here's a snippet. So it's been streaming pretty well. It's my first release as well, and so I thought I'd jump into the Ableton project and show you guys how I did it, because these videos help me learn how to produce, and so I thought I'd do the same to try to help and give back. Really quickly before we begin, I just dropped a new mix on SoundCloud, as long as a new remix of Hijack by A$AP Rocky, as well as all my streaming links and social medias are going to be linked in the description. So let's jump into this. Let me know if you find this helpful, and if you want to see more videos like this, I'd love to do it for some of my remixes. Let's jump in. So now we're in the project file on Ableton. Ableton is superior to FL, argue with the wall. So now that we're in here, I'm going to be going over the arrangement first and how I organize everything, and then we're going to go into the sound design and why I selected kind of the samples I did. So let's hop in. Start with the intro. This is what it sounds like. And there's a little riser. That brings in this plug here. Then it transitions into the bridge. So this one is really simple. It's just 17 beats. It's just an offbeat bass. Just because this is what the main bass sounds like later in the song. And I wanted that to kind of be a surprise, so I kind of made the intro more basic just for mixing in and whatnot. And so the first drop hits harder. Next, we have this sound, which is the drop melody, but in this little plucked form. So this is, I used Serum 1 for this entire project. I just didn't use Serum 2. Don't know why. So this is something I made for another song that I'm working on called Hold On, that I made like a year ago. It's one of my first full songs I made. It's so basic. Like, there's not even effects on it. Like, it's because I made it when I first started producing. So it's just messing around the envelopes, filter, and then it's just a saw wave. So that's really simple. And then we're going to the drums, which is just kick. I think I got this kick from Splice, and then I got the clap from Splice for the snare and the hat. And then I have this ride, which I used throughout the song, and then this little clap fill here, which is panned 6 to the right just to add some stereo width. Then I have another fill. And then also on top of this, I have a build rack from Sport Mode. He's a really great, sick producer. He does a lot of these style breakdowns. He has some free Ableton racks. So you can see this is a build rack. It has reverb and a EQ. So I have those automated. So it washes out with the EQ, and the EQ goes up to kind of mud up the frequencies so it transitions easier. I also have a little endless smile so that it kind of echoes out. I love this plugin. I use it in every single song, and it's just really funny looking. Seeing this guy like raise his hands up, I think it's really fun, and it's a really useful plugin. Then we have the effects. So this is just a reverb throw that I made from the vocal. Really simple, again, endless smile. Love this plugin to death. And I have just a little transition. It's kind of quiet, but it kind of flows through. Also, something I do sometimes is I put a compressor on my risers and stuff, especially the airy ones, because I feel like they can feel very loud when they don't need to be, and they can kind of fill up too much of a mix. Next, I have this little texture riser that I found. It's a full drum, and I use that throughout the song. I'll show you in a second. Next, I just have a a splice riser transition. So that's the intro. Really simple stuff. Really simple. Again, I'm more of a beginner producer, but that's that. Then the meat of the song, the vocal. So I got this vocal from vocalfy.com for like $40. Really great source for vocals. So I recommend you checking here. It's called Red Lights. You can definitely find it. All right, so this is what it sounds like without any effects.
It's a vibe, push the gas, going real fast. Got the stash on the dash, like the match, hear the bass, don't need brakes, hit the red lights.
Sick. Okay, so then I have my favorite vocal plugin, Xbox, on it, which sauces it up.
It's a vibe, push the gas, going real fast.
It's just like a distortion, some EQ, and a pitch widener. I don't have any reverb on there, but the vocal's already a wet vocal. I was lazy and just used the wet vocal because I like the way it sounded. So that's that.
It's a vibe, push the gas, going.
Then I have a shaper box to sidechain it to the kick when the vocal's playing during the drop, just to make it feel punchier. This EQ is just to visualize. And then I have an EQ here, taking out just the muddy low end. There's not a lot of low end in the build-up anyway, so I didn't really feel it was needed to take a lot of out. I didn't really feel it was needed to take a lot of stuff out. Then I have a spectral resonator. This is a cheat code for making house music. It pretty much just makes vocals more robotic. I've talked about this on my Instagram before. I have a vocal tutorial, and I toss this on like every vocal.
Gas going real fast. Got the stash on the dash, like the match, hear the bass.
You can see what it does. It just makes it robotic. I feel like it really helps mesh the sound in with the rest of the track, especially for a more kind of like robotic sounding song. And then I just have a basic loop compressor because I feel like the vocal gets loud at points. And then I have that build, the build plugin again, and then I have Endless Smile, of course, for the build up. And then for the rest of the build, this is what it sounds like.
It's a vibe, push the gas, going real fast. Got the stash on the dash, like the match, hear the bass, don't need brakes, hit the red lights.
Okay, so let's start up top. So I have the bass preset, but this is the preset I believe I got off Splice. I probably did for Serum 1. I just have the brightness knob and the distortion automated. So as you get closer, to the drop, it's that tension. It's the same melody as the drop. So it's really bright, kind of airy. And then during drop hits, it switches to the heavy bass here. Just for some, compare and contrast, call and response. So what else do I have on here? I have a shaper box, 2 shaper boxes. This one is for drive. It just makes it sound kind of more raspy. And then I have the same side chain on the half of the kick. I have some filters moving for later. A Ableton stock glue compressor, a compressor, EQ, build riser, auto filter, so when it's over here it starts, so it kind of eases in the higher frequencies. And again, Endless Smile, this time on No Limit. Earlier it was on Fist in the Air. I like No Limit because it also helps take out some of the lower frequencies and makes it sound thinner, so the drop punch is heavier. Again, I still have this ARP playing from the intro. And on that, I have Smack in the Face from Endless Smile. I love this plugin. I'm telling you, best plugin I use, like most useful. Just some EQs, auto filter, nothing crazy, nothing crazy. Again, there's the preset. And then here, I just have hat, and then clap. And then I have some fast hats, which come in during the drop as well. And then the build, I just have this same sweep from earlier, the texture loop from earlier, the vocal build from earlier, a longer kind of airy riser. Here's a build up life hack for all of my producers out there as well that I did with this. Get a utility and set the gain to -6, and then as it goes up, automate it to go to 0. I did that over here as well on the second drop, but I had it go up to the same thing. So what this does is, because the volume is actually going up, it kind of makes it feel like it's getting more intense over time. I don't know, I just liked it. Use it however you feel. And then also I use the phaser flanger. So without this, it just kind of, it's very flat, very boring, it's very normal. So you add this. These are the settings I have it on. I am changing the rate. So you can kind of hear as the rate goes up, it'll move between left and right side of your headphones. And because the rate's increasing, it's like shaking, it's vibrating. Which is a really fun sound. I also have this EQ where the gain is decreasing on the high end. Just kind of dampen it. And then I have the basic Noizu riser. It has a small, wider plugin on it. I love this plugin. It's really good for kind of creating atmosphere. It just makes this more dramatic because as you get more over here, it fills your headphones. It fills the speakers. And then I have the filter letting in more. And then just for texture, I have a static. And this is what it sounds like all together. That takes us to the drop. So, again, we have this bass. Here's the patch again. Here's the serum name from Splice. Again, I think I played with, I think this was more like that or something. It was more of a sub bass when I got it. And then I just played with the attack. I think I played with the filter, played with the distortion. Yeah, I put the distortion really high. I did that stuff to it, and then I'm side chaining it to my kick. I love Shaperbox. I know a lot of people like to use other things. I love Shaperbox. What did I do to it? Bass punch, compressor, some EQ. So I'm taking out the 30 hertz because it's just kind of muddy, and I'm bringing out some punch at 109 hertz. Just kind of helps it come through the mix a little more. Next, my favorite sound from this entire song, this. I'm so proud of this sound. I made it myself. So what I have is this. So the attack, I have the attack coming up. So we have the sub. Then I added a noise. Then I added this. It's kind of siren-y. It sounds like, it reminds me of like a Coast Guard siren or like a horn. And then I added this gritty preset. I believe, yeah, it's in digital. And then I have nothing on the effects because it's just, I thought the sound was good here. And then I have an EQ at 150 hertz, cutting out the low end. Again, a wider at 51%. You can play with that to taste. And then I have a warmer, I have a saturator here, the Ableton a bit warmer saturator. I really like it. So that's what it's doing. I don't know, I just love the kind of zip. I love the zip of it, and I think it's a really cool, unique sound. Yeah, so there's that. And then you have this sound. This. So this is the BS analog accent from the BS. So this is the BS analog accent from Sam Smyers. This is what it sounds like. Here's what's on the processing, just a delay and EQ. I think I added that delay, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't really remember. I made this months ago. And so I just put the delay, and again, wider. You also don't really hear this layer, but this little bass stab. I dampened it a lot, but I think it's just a nice little accent. You can't really hear it, but it adds texture. Now let's go with the kick. I think this is splice. It had a lot of highs, but I didn't like, so I took it out. And then the same fill over here. Down shifter. There's that. And then over here, this part of the drop. You have the very fast hi-hats. So I got this idea from my reference track, Nighttime by Roddy Lima. Banger. I just think it's a really cool way to kind of pace the song. And then I have filler, and then this is the entire drum loop right here. Boom. And the vocal comes back in with sidechain. Oh, and I have these drum fills. So now I'm going to go into the break. Which is just the vocal continuing with the hi-hats just added that you heard in the intro. It's just much quieter in the intro. So I thought this was a good place to introduce them for the second drop. As you can see, there's more drums over here, but we'll get there in a second. The ARP comes back. Same processing, pretty much same build up. And then I bring back the offbeat bass line. So it's the same thing from the intro. Pretty much, just more of a sub. What did I change here? It's pretty much the same build up. I use more of this loop here. I think it's just good texture, adds a different amount of stuff. And then for the vocal over here, I just kind of loop red lights, riser, endless smile, utility, the gains going down, and then the pre-drop vocal. So this one, it already came pitched down, but what I did was I added more spectral resonator, a saturator, glue compressor, just some more stuff to make it punch harder. I think I added just to make it punch harder, and then it's louder, so the rest of the vocals at -12, this is at -9. So I just think it's a really nice way to kind of spice it up and make it a little scratchier. The build-up's pretty much the same though. Time for drop 2. I love this part of the song. I think it's amazing. So we have the bass. But the thing that, of course, changes is this comes in. Now that sounds really thin and basic, but add it with the rest of the track. It's designed to just be a perfect layer right on top of the bass line to make it thicker. So what this is it's a bass serum patch. I forget what I did to it. I believe I added this chorus and I messed around with the distortion, but it's such a very cool sound. And I also played with the attack. It was something like that, and I lowered it. just to kind of poke and jab through the mix. I think it's cool. The whistle sound is back. Pretty much everything's the same except for the ride is back in now. I also took out more kicks here for the fills. You can see here I only took out one at a time. Here I took out 4, but that's because we're transitioning to the bridge. But here I took out 2, I took out 4, I took out 4, I took out 4, took out 4. So that just adds more room for the fills. Then you can hear in the drums, it progresses, and then I add in the fast hats, which just adds the fast pacing from the first drop, but combines it with all the other elements. I didn't cover this, but I also have an auto pan on here just to make it fill up more stereo width. And then I also have the ride back, and then I added a little vocal fill. So that's the main part of the drop, and then we have the outro. Where pretty much everything just slowly kind of brings back, of course. So here, for the bass, I have an auto filter on that as it goes across will take out the sound. So just kind of as you're the DJ or me, whenever I'm playing it, is mixing in, the bass doesn't clash with the song you're mixing in, because it jumps around a lot. It can be hard to mix even when it's in key. I have these sounds coming back from the risers. Then I have a little endless smile on the drums, so they kind of fade out. And that is that. So I really appreciate you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you saw something from my process or found some cool sounds or whatever in this. It was a little unprofessional. I didn't come super prepared, but I just kind of wanted to be raw and come off the cuff and show you guys what I made. So I really appreciate you sticking through. Please subscribe. Again, links to stream and everything down in the description. Go listen to my new mix and my new remix of Hijack by A$AP Rocky, and stream on the Dash as well. Also, check out my channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more on here. I have a full set from my last show at Furnace in Austin, Texas, which was a blast. So please go check that out. Thank you so much for watching. Here's a clip of me playing it live for the first time. Enjoy. Have a great day. Peace.